Back in 2022, there was a tweet issued on Twitter at the time, it wasn't X yet, on Twitter by a certain individual by the name of Candace Owens. Now, that tweet went viral for two very opposite reasons. There was one side that absolutely loved the fact that she was saying this, and then one group that was absolutely shocked and appalled that she was saying this. The tweet read, "This is an excellent Super Bowl halftime performance. Undeniable hip hop and R&B excellence." Now, if you're wondering what Super Bowl that was the same Super Bowl that had Crip walking, 50 Cent hanging upside down in a stripper pole, half naked women dancing and gyrating on said stripper pole, and then a whole band of half naked women dancing on top this prop. Candace Owens says it was black excellence. Now, mind you, this is the same Candace Owens that will tell you that the destruction of the black family nucleus is hip hop.
Now, I want to be clear, as this is being debated on the internet right now, this completely saddens me. It is the destruction of black culture. It is the destruction, therefore, of American culture.
Now, the reason we're bringing up the tweet is because absolutely no one on the black conservative side, aside from Too Strong, of course, had any issue with that statement. I mean, literally nobody. Not ABL, y'all know who that is. And especially not one Brandon Tatum. We found that kind of odd. We even asked that question of one Mr. Topher. Went deathly silent, just kind of mum on it. Well, here's the problem. And I think majority of people can agree on this. If you're going to call it out across the board. If you're going to have something wrong and call it wrong, maybe, just maybe, make sure that you keep that energy across the board, right? At least that's a good request to be made. Well, recently, Miss Kamala Harris had a little party at her house. And the people that were there, you know what? Roll the tape and you can see what I'm talking about and see if you can hear something that stands out real quick.
That the future of our country is bright.
And they are coming to the vice president's house to celebrate and show black excellence. That's what they call it. They call it black excellence. Why are we doing this?
Why, black people? Why? Okay. Now, one person in particular said something about it being what? Black excellence? I think that was one of his words. Almost exactly what Candace said, right? Okay. Well, Mr. Tatum had an issue with that. Why? Because it's Kamala Harris. You see, because Kamala Harris is a pariah. I'm not defending Kamala Harris, by the way, just so people know. I don't like her neither. She has no moral compass whatsoever. I want to make that abundantly clear. Okay. But he went ahead and absolutely lambasted Miss Harris for, one, having all these black people around and playing hip hop music, pandering, and it's not black excellence, and this is the culture that she wants to embrace, and blah, blah, blah. Where was that energy for that tweet? I'm just curious, because if it really is that the particular genre, by your own admission, is destroying Black America, by your own admission, then maybe that genre celebrated in any forum is bad for the black community, by your own admission. But it only applies if the person saying it is not on your side. You see, this is the problem when you groupthink. A lot of us on the right believe that groupthink only happens on the left. No. Conservatives and non-conservatives are prone to cliques, right? But when you are prone to follow God, you know what you're going to do? Call out right and wrong anywhere it's found. So let me ask a question. Is hip hop, like at least the kind that happened in that Super Bowl in 2020, and the kind of behavior you saw at the vice president's house, is that excellence, much less black excellence? No, right? No. So then why is Brandon Tatum only calling out one. I can easily tell you that because you don't want to offend the hand that feeds you. You can't afford to bite the hand where you can get all your influence and financial help and, clout. You can't afford to do that. Secondly, you don't genuinely believe that hip hop is dangerous to the black community. You can't possibly believe that. If it was truly something you believed and held true, you would call it out anywhere it was found, including Super Bowl 2022. And you know what you would end up doing? You would end up telling Candace, you got to take that tweet down. That don't make no kind of sense. How is that black excellence? You'd call your friend up, but every time you've been asked to do so, church mice, skeletons, corpses, silence, graveyard. I find that kind of odd. And really what I find it is hypocritical. I have no problem with you calling out Kamala for hosting such a party. You're right. It was perfectly. I get that. And it is not a good representation of black America. So then why was Super Bowl 2022 a good representation of black excellence? And why would you not stay the same about that, even if you addressed it to the NFL? Let's just say you were to avoid Candace altogether in her tweet. Why not call that out? You know why you couldn't? Because Candace praised it. Now, I know there are going to be some Candace fans that will come and say some stuff. So I have a question for you, Candace fans. Is hip hop black excellence? When you answer that question for me, then we can have a further conversation. Because I also want you to remember that the same person that you are coming to back up said the complete opposite to that statement and sentiment for years. All of a sudden, one tweet, it's different. And she doubled down on it, by the way, in a secondary tweet. So I need you to explain that for me. And when we've told you before that Candace has no moral compass, people call us out for being, why are you going after her? She's one of the best ones, and good for you. But if you're going to keep something, at least make it something that is a hard and fast plumb line of truth. When you have your plumb line doing this, no. Either be on the side of truth all the time or not at all. Calling out one but not the other makes you a hypocrite. Brandon, Candace, just so you know. In the future, here's my advice to both of y'all. If something is right, it's right all the time. And if something is wrong, it's wrong all the time. Not when you find it convenient, not when you feel like it, and not when it'll bring you something lucrative. You know who else does that? Hollywood. You know else who does that? The world. But then again, what can I expect? Y'all never claimed to know God anyway. So I guess it's all in a wash, right? No, it's not. It's not in the wash. Because at the end of the day, you have a massive following of people. And those people, by your own wanting, follow you for a very specific reason, because you say you speak the truth. But you have just been caught doing something completely other than telling the truth. My only question from here on is what you're going to do about it and how you're going to rectify this one.